Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Roaming Prepper, and thanks for joining me today. As you can tell by my voice, I'm not feeling awesome today, so this will be kind of a quick video. But I did want to talk about this spy balloon that's being reported over the U.S. and what my thoughts are on about it. Aside from being an engineer, my degree is actually in aerospace engineering. So I thought this was uniquely interesting, and I'll be right back and I'll give you my thoughts on what we're seeing and how it can relate to prepping, because freaking out without some kind of basis of action doesn't make any sense. I'll be right back, guys. Hey, welcome back, everybody, and thanks for joining me. Okay, so I'm gonna cut to the chase. Again, I'm not feeling awesome. Got the low-grade fever, body aches. I don't know if I got the Rona, I got the flu. Don't have strep. I'm not feeling the sore throat, headache, but man, who the hell knows? I got some crud. And I ate garbage with some folks yesterday. Some really greasy stuff, so my stomach is messed up as well as the rest of me, so I'm going to be resting up. But while I was thinking about it, so this balloon appeared over the last few days. Just to give you a timestamp here, we're the 3rd of February of 2023. I'm giving you that so somebody doesn't see this video like 6 months later and go like, what balloon, you know, because you always get those. Anyway, so the weather balloon is right now going across the northern states. It appears to have traversed Oregon, is going across the Dakotas. They're very tight-lipped about the nature of the surveillance. This alleged weather or spy balloon, whatever balloon it is, the United States has confronted China about it. China said it was a research balloon that was supposed to be over the Pacific, and it ran amok and just conveniently went over a bunch of our missile silos and Minot Air Force Base, which is where we have a bunch of B-52s and B-1s and whatnot. So sure, it's a research balloon. Anyway, just by basis of comparison, obviously, the US, China, Russia, the big powers have always been screwing with each other, right? They fly around each other's airspace, they poke at each other's airspace, fighter planes come out and chase each other away. They've been doing this since the end of the Second World War, so that's not new. What is kind of embarrassing is that somehow a balloon that has the diameter of about 2 city buses, so they say, just with surveillance gear of some type, happen to just meander over some of our most secretive sites, and neither Canada or the US flagged the damn thing. Now, there may be more at play. They may be letting it go through on purpose so that they can observe what it's doing. So as of today, the Air Force did confirm that they think it's maneuverable. So as you know, that they've seen it change direction contrary to what the prevailing winds should be. It was going opposite the wind or across the wind, which is not just a inert balloon behavior, right? You put a balloon in the air, it follows the wind. So if it's going different directions, that means it's being controlled. The president was actually going to order them to shoot it down. He was advised not to, because the pieces will go everywhere, supposedly cause a problem. Totally within the US or Canada's right to shoot it down. I don't know if they're jamming it, if they're learning from it, but in any case, so I don't know much about the balloon. I did look up some specs for high altitude weather balloons. So they travel and obtain a height of roughly 20 to 26 miles from the surface of the Earth. Their payload is typically a weather balloon, 7,000 to 8,000 grams. It was a metric. So, you know, maybe 10 pounds. Actually, it's probably less than that. It's not very much. By comparison, some heavier equipment may not be able to go up in that particular type of balloon. And again, this is a spy balloon, probably not a weather balloon. So who the hell knows what the capabilities are. However, what I find interesting is if you look up a lot of the EMP theories, 25 miles, 20 to 25 miles is also the perfect place to detonate a small nuke to create an EMP field over a certain area. 25 mile small nuke would probably screw up a bunch of stuff on the ground at that altitude. So I find it kind of embarrassing for the US that this freaking thing just went over our airspace and over a bunch of classified stuff. And one, it got through air defenses, and two, it wasn't shot down at an altitude that apparently would be ideal to set off a small nuke. Now, was this an accident, an inadvertent thing? Possibly. Was it just spying and now they're lying about it? Possibly. It could also be a probing effort, right? We're rigged up to detect missiles and stealth fighters and fast-moving things, and here comes this balloon, all slow and shit, and went right over the US. So a typical weather balloon would fly at the altitude that would also be ideal to pop a nuke to create an EMP event. Now, that being said, the weather balloons, I looked up the different specs. The payload capacity is nowhere near what you would need. Even a 1 or 2 kiloton nuke, which would have a very limited range of effect, will weigh. The Russian suitcase nuke was reported to weigh about 150 pounds. Typical weather balloon will not hold that much weight. So is it being used for targeting? Or are they using it to, another theory was that they're collecting signal intelligence. They're picking up cell phone, radio, ham, shortwave, AM, FM, and they're just collecting data. Whatever the case may be, the fact that a balloon is allowed to go over classified areas, nobody has shot it down, nobody has raised a whole bunch of holy hell about it, and we're just letting it bebop around, means either A, we're doing it on purpose because we're getting something out of it, right? We're collecting some kind of information by leaving it be, or B, we have a bunch of idiots in charge. I know the Air Force has very much said they'll be happy to shoot it down. They advised against it, so I suspect, just that kind of language, I suspect the Air Force and the Space Force are learning something right now. That balloon's bebopping through our airspace, and they're like, look how it transmits, look what how it moves, look what it's doing. And they're learning something, so it's kind of, even though this thing may be observing our classified space, we may be learning something as well. It's really hard to say. But incursions are not unheard of. Having a large-ass balloon at a ideal height for an EMP blast mosey past our 2 of our 3 nuclear triad sites, that's new, and that disturbs me. So what do I think of this? Well, right now, again, at 25 miles, this balloon likely doesn't have the payload capacity, or at least that's what I'm reading, to handle even a small suitcase nuke. Because again, a small suitcase nuke, 1 to 2 kilotons, is 150 pounds. If you get anything substantial, it's going to weigh a buttload more, because uranium-238 has a very high molecular weight, so uranium's heavy as fuck, basically, excuse my French. So it probably would not be viable to use in a balloon. Now, could the balloon be used to get precise targeting on other things? Yes. But I do have a couple of questions. One, how did it get through NORAD and go over our classified areas? 2, how did it get there? Did it go all the way from China through the Pacific and just conveniently meander that way? Or was it deployed by something else? Was it released by a ship and sent up into the atmosphere right off our coast? Was it deployed by an aircraft that we did not detect just outside our airspace, which is possible. They deployed the balloon out of an aircraft, it inflated, and off it went. We don't know, and that bothers me. The fact that our airspace was so blatantly violated and we're not shooting the damn thing down just blows my mind. North Dakota, Montana do not have very high population densities. I'm sure by now they more than had opportunity to say, okay, well, we shoot it and it'll come straight down somewhere around here. So I think there's more at play, guys, but it does bother me because during the Cold War, China and Russia would never, they would have probed, they would have never done that. We'd have shot it down. I mean, we'd have been like, oh, that's not supposed to be here. And, you know, back in the day, the F-86 Sabre jets would have gone up and that would be the end of the balloon. But no, it's just bebopping across our country and nobody's doing anything. Now, rumor has it there's a second balloon. I cannot confirm or deny that because I have no idea. But this comes on the heel of an Air Force general who's over the Pacific saying that he's concerned that we are in a time window to get into a shooting conflict with the PRC by 2025, within the next 2 years. I actually got to see a declassified version of his orders where he's basically telling all his commanders, we need to get up to game, we need to increase our tempo, maintain our aircraft, increase competency, increase interconnection with us and the other branches and our allies, because I think shit's going down. I also know for a fact there are a lot of American units headed to that general part of the world. I don't know what to make of all this. I think everyone's setting themselves up for a freaking disaster. Keep in mind when World War I broke out, there was lots of little clashes in the year or two preceding the actual outbreak of the war. And it wasn't an instantaneous thing that they shot the Archduke and boom, you're in a war. There was negotiation and talking. It took a little while before things took off. So, folks, my take on this, one, it's an embarrassment to our country and to our military. Two, there's something more going on. The observation balloon by itself is bullshit. Are they testing ways to get through our airspace? Are they using it for targeting? Are we learning something by letting it be as it meanders through our airspace? I don't know the answer to these questions. But understand that any disruption, any kind of shooting conflict is going to affect the supply chain. So you need to make sure you have meds, make sure you have food, personal supplies, whatever your situation requires you to have. Also maintain health. Obviously you can hear I'm not so awesome right now, but maintaining your health and wellness as best as you can. The better shape and health you're in, the less you will rely on meds or the medical facilities. If something pops off, hospitals will get overwhelmed like they did during the Rona and during hurricanes. This is not new stuff, guys. So ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave you with that, but you guys be good, be safe. Interesting. I'm going to keep watching what's being said about these balloons or this balloon, and if I get some other insights, I will share it with all of you. Until next time, God bless, Godspeed, and I will see you all later. I'm gonna go chill out because I feel like legit crap. Be good.